The truth still exists. The truth still matters. Those are the new words from federal judge Amy Berman Jackson today. She said them. She read them aloud in court as she sentenced a Trump aide, Roger Stone, to prison. This was an extraordinary day in a federal courtroom for the Trump era. This is, of course, the judge who Trump had recently attacked, sentencing his longest-serving advisor, Roger Stone, to 40 months in prison. That's just over 3 years, a prison term longer than what Stone's lawyers were petitioning for, and longer than what Donald Trump has been publicly demanding. A reminder tonight, as all this other stuff is going on, of maybe the most important thing you still need to know about America. A reminder we have independent, life-tenured judges in this country who can stand up to political pressure, including from the president himself, who can stand up to the Justice Department, which is a separate branch of government, which famously here has made this rare intervention in the case to try to cut down Stone's recommended sentence, leading to those resignations, the firestorm for Bill Barr. Now, Stone remains out of prison right now while these other procedures play out. He is the 6th Trump aide to be found guilty in Bob Mueller's probe. You take it together, and Donald Trump's aides have been hit with more prison time in his first term than any other president in history. And Judge Jackson issuing her ruling today while hammering Stone's documented actions, noting the dismay and disgust at the defendant's belligerence, which should transcend party, and echoing what I mentioned earlier tonight. She said the truth still exists. The truth still matters, and continued, Stone's insistence that it doesn't, his belligerence, his pride in his own lies are a threat to our most fundamental institutions, to the foundations of our democracies. The Mueller probe is over, but like any accountability in our criminal justice system, its process and this punishment system, it stretches out over time. It takes time. And while it has certainly seen misrepresentations, including from the DOJ itself in the Barr letter, and it has seen meddling from Mr. Barr with the prosecutors departing in protest, Judge Jackson here, an independent arbiter with no political axe to grind, she struck a blow very clearly backing up Mueller's work, backing up the convictions, and a blow against those undercutting it, which, of course, as mentioned, include the Trump administration. She fact-checked claims from Stone and his allies, noting in court Stone had not been prosecuted by his adversaries, nor by anyone to gain any, quote, political advantage. And now about that meddling by Bill Barr. Remember last week? This is the case last week that everyone was freaking out about, and that Donald Trump was intervening in, and that Bill Barr was talking about and criticizing the tweets. This is now happening with this prison sentence for Mr. Stone. Now, the original Stone prosecutors, when they stepped down last week in what some call the Tuesday night massacre, they left. So what happened today at a very procedural level is that their DOJ replacements had to go in and finish this up. And they told the court that original request, which caused that whole firestorm for a tougher sentence, they said it was actually presented in good faith. That's a type of legal compliment of those prosecutors who left. Trump has been attacking them. And then they made a different argument. They said Bill Barr softened it because of a, quote, miscommunication. Now, I want to be clear with you. This is our top story tonight for a reason. This is a big and important story, and it is a rejection of what the president and Bill Barr were trying to do. And my job here is to report to you that claim from court, that they saw this as a mere miscommunication. But my job is also to try to share with you the factual context that we've learned, that we know. 4 prosecutors don't typically take the career-altering step of withdrawing from a case over a miscommunication. The Justice Department doesn't typically leave something this big open to any potential miscommunication. Everyone involved understands the high stakes, the scrutiny. This is the last known case handing down a prison term from the Mueller probe. And, of course, it involves the president's advisor. Now, as for Mr. Barr's claim that he's also fine with going softer on Stone, he just objects to Donald Trump tweeting about it. That also is looking thinner and thinner today because, oops, he did it again. Donald Trump back tweeting about this Stone case today, including making his top promoted tweet for his 72 million followers, a Fox News clip now advocating a Stone pardon.
President Trump could end this travesty in an instant with a pardon, and there are indications tonight that he will do that. Democrats will become unhinged if Trump pardons Roger Stone, but they're unhinged anyway. What has happened to Roger Stone should never happen to anyone in this country. It's completely immoral. It's wrong. Fixing it is the right thing to do, and in the end, that is the only thing that matters.
And this is where Donald Trump's brazen disregard for rules undercuts his attorney general's attempts at a more lawyerly strategy, because Donald Trump is just blatantly talking about that potential pardon today.
I'd love to see Roger exonerated, and I'd love to see it happen, because I personally think he was treated very unfairly. I'm going to watch the process. I'm going to watch it very closely, and at some point I'll make a determination.
Today, the president also falsely claims Stone was not involved at all in the 2016 campaign. Here is the fact check on that, featuring another Stone-Trump ally who is now in prison as well.
I've known him for a long time, and he's actually a quality guy. He's a nice guy. Roger always wanted me to run for president, and over the years, every time a presidential race came up, he always wanted me to run, and I just didn't have interest at that time.
Roger's, relationship with Trump has been so interconnected that it's hard to define what's Roger and what's Donald. While it will be clearly a Trump presidency, I think it's influenced by a Stone philosophy.
The Stone philosophy. Well, let's talk about that briefly. The Stone philosophy is what was roundly rejected and criminally sanctioned in federal court today. Because some lies are crimes, like lying to Congress, as this judge told him and told America. Truth matters. And he was sentenced to 3 years in prison, which may have Donald Trump worried in the midst of talks of more Russian meddling, about whether his, quote, interconnected long-standing aide may still have more to say about that 2016 election, which Mr. Stone was involved in. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.